Hello, I'm David Allen, and this is one of a series of videos in support of my leadership campaign. This one describes a way for the party to truly move forward, a strategy for change. As a leadership contest gets into its stride, ordinary members may have some difficulty in determining who might best lead this party forward. It's early days though, as currently there is little on offer to help that decision-making process, with most early comments coming from one person's or another's personal support base. Most of our members won't see any of this as they aren't wedded to Facebook or Twitter. And if previous form is anything to go by, most won't bother to vote either. Whoever manages to get the ordinary members' support will likely do well. Former elections have usually gone with the profile of the candidates and hasn't had much to do with what they say, how good they might be, or any of the characteristics that make good leadership. Hence the problem. When Nigel was on the ticket, it was much easier. My approach is to make good arguments, and I will continue to do so. I'm not a table thumper, but some candidates rely upon that alone. In fact, our previous leader was a master of speaking to the room. This group of candidates must eventually speak to the wider membership, and the chosen leader to the nation as well. So please bear that in mind when settling on who you will support. Some have the weirdest policy statements on their websites that they are, presumably, happy to be associated with. So that's testament to the fact that not many people are considering too closely what is written or said. So let's hope that changes. So far, much is being pronounced with a disregard for UKIP's current position. From my perspective, it's poor. Members are not renewing and some are leaving even before their membership expires. Yet we still bang on about Brexit as if somebody was listening. Yes, it is still critical that we get it. Yes, we are all worried. But yes, also, we aren't well placed to say or do very much about it. And there's no sign of that changing. Brexit was a phenomenal success and brought about principally because the fundamental structure of the EU and its interference in our affairs was thoroughly disliked by the British people. UKIP tapped into that feeling and continually reminded them of the injustice, lack of democracy, the effects of mass uncontrolled immigration and the enormous cost of it all, until the Prime Minister of the day felt threatened and offered a referendum he was certain he would win. We didn't create that sense of unfairness in the British psyche, but we cultivated it well. It wasn't easy, but with an advocate like Nigel Farage, a man indeed for his time, the establishment, with all its dirty tricks, failed to stop the tide of opinion. The strategy was principally to take this subject, Brexit, which had wide support, bang on about it incessantly, collect like-minded people from different parties along the way, and win. I'm suggesting a similar approach, because it has worked before, but with a real difference. Brexit got us Brexit, but sucked the lifeblood from the party's support base, because we had no other strings to our bow that the electorate was aware of. And we are now where we are. Even at our height of over 20% support in the European elections and 15% support in the 2015 general election, we gained no truly UKIP parliamentary seats. Only the former Conservative turned UKIP, then turned off, won one. The pattern suggests that if we now embark upon yet another single-issue campaign with no long-term electoral changes, we'll be right back here again, even if it were to be as spectacularly successful as Brexit. And with two of the options on offer, that's wildly optimistic. I do not think that becoming a principally anti-Islamic party, A, has anything like the broad support of Brexit, or B, is going to be any easier to promote. So that would be a poor move. Likewise, I do not think the exclusive promotion of a direct democracy concept has or will register on anyone's radar, so will be lost on ordinary people, as this kind of concept needs, above everything else, time. As I've already said, even our own members can't be bothered to vote in internal UKIP elections, so the task is substantial. However, both these subjects are worthy of the party's support, but they must be progressed in a thoughtful and understanding way, not necessarily with their principal proponents as leader, but perhaps as part of the party's leadership team. So what should be the cause célèbre, the one with the underlying support of the nation, the one that is cooperative and not divisive? Well, that's easy. It's electoral reform, beginning with voting reform. What's more, when a fairer voting system is in place, UKIP, like all smaller political parties, will not be left high and dry by an electoral system that requires massive localised support to give people the voice they deserve. Success with voting reform secures our future and won't jeopardise it. So why hasn't it happened? Quite simply, there has been zero strategy, no cooperation, and constant disagreement between the organisations that want change. Everyone in this game is stuck on their own system, all of which have substantial flaws, not least of which was the 2-to-1 drubbing that AV got when voting reform was last put to a referendum. One of the reasons why I developed a completely new and different voting system, www.makevotescount.co.uk, is to introduce the concept of evaluation and choice. When all systems are spookily the same, a totally different concept can lead to clarity and a good decision. If I were elected leader, UKIP would adopt a broad platform of ideas in which the ideals formally discussed could also be progressed. However, a principal platform would be to coordinate the campaign for a fairer electoral system by offering the hand of cooperation. We need a collective effort between the political parties and groups within them, and the reforming organisations to follow a strategy of evaluation and selection of a voting system we can all agree upon. The progress possible with such a joint effort will emulate that which has gone before. Remember Brexit? Campaign on something with which most people are already minded to agree, and would agree with when presented with the powerful arguments in favour of changing the way we are governed. There is little in the idea of fairer voting that anyone could spin or twist to make it sound evil. In just the same way as the British defend their independence, we all have a high regard for justice and fairness, and everyone knows that our existing system isn't fair. That is a very powerful position to start off with. We know what works, so let's do it again. It is, after all, plain common sense. Thank you for watching.